This is the Infatuasian podcast, where we like to celebrate and elevate Asian culture and creators. Today, we are joined with Mayor Elizabeth Yang. Hey, Elizabeth.
Hi, Curtis. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, my pleasure. You have the distinction. You're the first politician we've ever had on here.
Oh, no way. Wow. What an honor.
I kind of steer clear of political things, but your story's so great. I really wanted to tell it. And so you're calling in from Monterey Park, California?
That's right. Yep. Right here in Monterey Park.
What's good down in Monterey Park? You're in short sleeves, so I'm guessing it's warm.
It's been very warm this past week. We've had lots of temperatures in the 80s, even in the 90s.
Yeah, for sure. I think I've only been to Monterey Park once, but I've been to San Gabriel Valley a little bit more. But for my listeners out there, how would you describe Monterey Park?
Well, we've got the best dim sum, so you definitely have to come back for some NBC or a Capital Seafood. We've got a lot of cute little shopping plazas. You know, a lot of immigrants who come to our country, the first stop is Monterey Park. So we've got a huge immigrant population.
Yeah. No, that's what I do remember. Like, this was 20-something years ago, but I remember Monterey Park had something I've never seen anywhere else. They had bottomless boba. I don't know if it still exists.
Bottomless boba.
It's not a good idea. It's not good for your health, but they had it wasn't even that expensive, but it was bottomless boba, and people would stay there for hours and get super sugared up and super caffeinated.
Oh, wow. I've actually never heard of that. We had our annual Lunar New Year Street Festival last month, and there was a lot of street vendors, and one vendor did have a bottomless baby bottle drink where you can get unlimited refills.
Oh, man. That's not a good idea, but, if you really love something, that might be the way to go.
Lots of sugar, that's for sure.
Yeah, oh, yeah. So we're actually recording in the very beginning of March, so this won't come out till April, but I want to ask, how's the year of the fire horse treating you so far, 2 weeks in?
Yeah, so we're so good. We've had countless Lunar New Year parties and banquets. Definitely our share of our lion dancers and dragon dancers.
Uh-huh.
My ears are still ringing, from all their banging right in front of me. Definitely lots of red envelopes. Tomorrow is the day where we eat the tangyuan, which is the mochi balls. Sometimes there's like peanut filling or sesame filling in soup.
Yeah. So that marks the end of it. But again, this is coming out in April, but everyone's hopefully you've already had your dumplings and your mochis by now.
Yeah. But it's been very festive in our city. Lots of wearing red.
Oh, yeah. No, I can imagine. Could we dig into your roots a little bit?
Absolutely.
So were you born here or where were you born?
Yep, I was born in California in the Bay Area, Mountain View.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where headquarters of Google is.
And where are your ancestors from?
My parents are from Taiwan. They immigrated here. They were born in Taipei and immigrated here. My grandparents are from Ningbo, China, which is close to Shanghai. It's like a small oceanfront city near Shanghai and Hangzhou.
So do you speak Taiwanese and Mandarin and a dialect?
I'm lucky I even speak Mandarin, being an ABC. A lot of ABCs, American-born Chinese, don't even speak Mandarin.
That's me. All right, so grew up in the Bay Area. I actually didn't know that.
Just till I was 3. I moved to LA when I was 3, so I don't really remember my Bay Area life.
All right. But then, so your youth was kind of marked with some ups and downs. As much as you want to talk a little bit about what it was like growing up for you in the Yang family?
Sure. Definitely lots of ups and downs. My father actually wasn't in my life growing up, and the family never spoke about it. I think that's pretty common again amongst Asian families. So I really had no clue what happened to Dad. He was just not in the picture. So I had a lot of theories. I never found out the truth until I was in my 20s as to what happened to him. But growing up, my mom was a single mom. She Had a hard time holding a job while raising two kids. I have a younger brother who's 2.5 years younger than me. So
Mm-hmm.
we moved around a lot, changed schools. I had four different elementary schools, two
Oh,
different middle schools, and I was also super introverted, so that made it even tougher, being the new kid
uh,
trying to make friends. So a lot of challenges, and ultimately, my mom's a typical Taiwanese tiger mom. So B pluses, A minuses are not even okay. You got to
yeah,
get straight A's.
yeah,
So it should put us up in every lesson you can think of: piano lessons, chess,
yeah,
swimming, everything. But I put in a lot of effort into my academics and got
yeah,
into a good college when I graduated.
yeah. If we were to see you when you were like 10 or 11 years old, now you had a couple different lives. You had an engineering life, you have a lawyer life, you have a politician life. Which one of those would have seemed the most likely if we looked at a 10-year-old Elizabeth?
Definitely engineering, because engineering is
Okay.
perfect for introverts. You don't have to talk to people. You can just bury your head in the computer all day long, talk to machines. So that's why I picked engineering. They don't have to do any public speaking.
Okay, okay. And so single mom, so it sounds like just reading your description on your website, it sounds like you were kind of fast tracking your way to adulthood. Getting into college, what were you like 16 and a half, 17 years old when you got into Cal?
Yeah, yeah. My mom had me skip kindergarten because I'm born in the beginning of January, so
Uh,
I had that opportunity to just be the youngest in my class. So she just pushed me forward. And then in high school, I went to Walnut High School. So at Walnut, it's a great high school, lots of AP classes, and we also
mm,
lived right next to Mount Sac. So I was able to take some community college credits during the summer and in my part time free time. So when I got into Berkeley, I was already a junior standing,
oh,
and that's
wow.
how I was able to graduate college, 2.5 years at age of 19, and just
Wow,
get
yeah.
into the working world, start making money.
Oh man. No, cause I know your major was what we could call EECS, right? Electrical engineering, computer science. One of the hardest majors at Berkeley, and you're fast tracking it as a 17-year-old. That's kind of nuts, man.
So what happens when you get raised by a tiger mom?
You're motivated,
Never
yeah.
good enough. Nothing's ever good enough.
So you enter the workforce. You're not even 20. You're like entering the workforce, and you went to like kind of aerospace, like JPL and Raytheon. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. I actually had summer internships when I was in college. So my first year summer, I got an internship at Raytheon. Second year summer, worked at NASA's JPL in Pasadena. And then when I graduated, I got a full time offer at Raytheon. So I was there for 5, 6 years.
Wow, that's no joke. Like you're yeah, like if that was the only story, like when you got that job, were you thinking that okay, well I'm set, I can work here for 35, 40 years and then retire? Was that
It was the
kind of the oh
opposite.
really? You couldn't wait to get out?
Yeah. At Raytheon, there's so many engineers who stay there their entire
Yeah,
career, right? So I
yeah.
saw my department head and my leads, my supervisors, they've all been there 30, 40 plus years. And I told myself, I don't want to be like that. I don't want my whole life, entire career to just be working on one project, one
Uh-huh.
company. I'd be bored out of my mind. So I need diversity and variety.
Okay, so building like Mars rovers wasn't enough for you. You needed something else.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't get a master's in engineering because
Okay.
in the typical Chinese, Taiwanese family, getting a bachelor's is like the bare minimum. So you're expected to get something above that. So I was like, oh, I don't
Yeah.
want a master's in engineering. Keep doing what I'm doing. Let me try something different. Let me try a JD MBA law and business degree. Try something different.
All right. All right. So you got into law school. While you're working, you're doing double like studying and working.
Yeah, I was a robot for 3.5 years. I still lived in Walnut at home with my mom
Uh-huh.
and commuted at 4:30 in the morning, hopped on a van pool to El Segundo, where Raytheon was located. My
Uh-huh.
work hours were 6 a.m. to 4 p.m., hopped back on a van pool back to Walnut, got in my car, drove to Ontario,
Uh-huh.
where the Laverne Law School was, and had my law classes 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. at night.
Oh, okay, so you're doing double duty. You get your law degree, and you pivot to patent law. Is that what you kind of emphasized?
Yeah, yeah. I actually had no ambition to become a lawyer during law school. I was literally just meeting my mom's requirements to get advanced education and also learn something new. But when I was studying for the bar exam after I finished law school, one of my coworkers from Raytheon told me that his neighbor, who lived on the same street as him, was a big law partner at this IP company. And
Mm.
I'd never even taken an IP course in law school, so I was like, what's IP?" I wasn't familiar
Uh-huh.
with it at all. So he introduced us, we sat down, and that's when I realized IP attorneys with engineering backgrounds were so high in demand. And even though
Mm.
I had no experience, no internships, nothing, they gave me an offer if I passed the bar the first time.
Hmm. Man, you already have more life experience. You were in your 20s at this time, yeah?
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
2007, so I was 24.
Oh man, do people look at you and like, are you a kid? Are you like an intern? Like when they were.
Yeah, yeah, like, "What? You're still a
Oh
student,"
man.
which I was just, I was still a student, barely
Oh man.
graduating.
All right. Well, I think we got to talk about your personal life a little bit because I think it's so important, yeah, to who you have become and what you're doing now. So you got married young and you had kids young. So you do everything fast. I don't know if you noticed this, but you do everything pretty quick. So do you mind talking about this a little bit, this part of your life?
Of course, yeah, so 24, I passed the bar exam, got into the law firm, which was in Irvine, moved to Irvine, started making good money as a first year, attorney at a big law firm, and, met my ex-husband. We, ended up getting pregnant very quickly, so you're right, do
Mm.
everything fast, including getting pregnant, because
Uh-huh.
Taiwanese parents don't really teach about birth control, they're just like, "No sex before marriage." So,
Uh-huh.
got pregnant and then got married, and then had another baby, so I had 2 kids by the time I was 26, and,
Mm,
now they're 15 and 16, and my
mm.
ex-husband and I, we were only married for a year and a half, and people are like, "How did you get 2 kids out of a year and a half
You
marriage?"
gotta do the math. Yeah.
Right? Like, the math doesn't add up. So, we got
Yeah.
married a month before my daughter was born, and then I filed divorce a month after my son was born. They're only
Oh.
16 months apart.
Oh man. Yeah. And so you said I read that this is it's like 4 years of your life here fighting this thing and
Yeah, the divorce
legal
took 4
divorce.
years.
Yeah, and I heard a number something like $500,000.
Uh-huh. I spent over $200,000 of lawyer fees. He spent about 300,000. We started off because I was already an attorney. I just didn't practice family law. So when I
Mhm.
filed my own divorce petition, I was like, "Oh, it's just a few forms. How hard can this be? I can do it myself." And I hired like a $200 an hour junior attorney to just help me out, guide me through the process. And he also he's not an attorney, but he's a double econ and math major from Caltech, so he's smart enough to figure out the forms too. So he also hired a cheap attorney, like $300.
Uh-huh.
After the first hearing, it was a mess, and we both fired our lawyers, got $400, $500 attorneys, and this just went on for 4 years. At the end of
Mm.
4 years, I was at my fifth law firm. Um, that attorney was charging 850 an hour, and his attorney was one of the top lawyers in downtown charging $1,000 an hour.
Oh man, you guys and you said it was mostly because you were just super angry at each other at this
Yeah, we
point?
didn't have assets. We're both young, just starting our careers. We're just taking out debts. It just goes to show when you are listening to your ego and have a lot to fight over, you can pick anything to fight about. We
Yeah.
didn't have assets to fight over. We're fighting over
Mm.
silly child custody things. The kids would come home maybe with no socks, and I'll go to court and file a motion
Mm.
against him. Just
Mm.
little things can add up.
Yeah. But it's safe to say that kinda shaped the last few years of your life now, like, as you were already a patent lawyer, but that kinda shifted your focus after that, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, it was like a 4-year degree in family law for me. So
Yeah, that's true.
very expensive, more expensive than
Uh-huh.
law school.
Oh no, yeah.
But taught me everything about family law.
And so you started your own law firm.
I actually started my own law firm when I filed divorce. So my first law firm was started at around 2010.
Mhm.
I had a partner at the time, and then we split ways in 2016. So then I have my current Yang Law offices for the last 10 years. But
Mm.
after I started going through my divorce, my friends also started going through divorces too. And they started coming to me for legal advice. They're like, hey, you're going through your divorce. Can you help me with mine too? And then the pandemic just killed all the marriages and their phone was ringing off the
Mm.
hook. So
Mm.
divorces all of a sudden became more popular than patents, at least at
Uh,
our small boutique firm.
uh. Now, to me, if you look at that on paper, it would seem like, you did the math in your head and say, hey, maybe I can make money off of divorces, but that's kind of opposite of what you like to do, right? You almost try to talk people out of getting divorces, like go through mediation or go through counseling or not get married at all. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I share my experience with my clients and I tell them you can either do what I did, waste all your money after years and years of battling, and you can pay for my kids' college tuition, or you can just be smarter about this whole thing, learn from my mistakes, be the bigger person, settle your case, and save your money for your own kids' college tuition. And I did publish a book called Social Marriage because after going through a 4-year divorce, I realized most people who sign a marriage license never read the substance of the
Mm.
contract. It's like the only legal contract people just sign blindly because they're in love. So they
Mhm.
don't realize what they got themselves into until they reach that divorce day. And then they're like, oh, so this is how alimony is calculated? What is the 10-year rule? Now I'm on the hook for a lifetime of alimony.
Mm.
What's community property? All of this stuff they should have known at the time they signed the contract, but people, traditionally that's not how it's done. So social marriage is where people can be married, but not legally. So they don't sign a legal contract. They can sign what's called a social civil contract with their own terms. So they know exactly what they're signing into and they're not just defaulting to whatever the government says they have to.
Oh, okay. So there is a legal contract and you help people with that? You'll draw that up for them and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can draft social contracts. Or the contract is not required to be socially married. If, both people are working full-time jobs and they can both take care of each other, then they don't need a contract. But if one person is going to say, I'm going to stay at home, I'm going to quit my job, give up my career to take care of the kids, then they can sign a social contract and dictate exactly how much each party will get if they were to split up.
mhm. And things like sharing benefits or custody of kids, all that is mentioned in the contract? Or how does like if I have benefits and my partner doesn't work, how do they get benefits in a social marriage?
Yeah, so there are downsides in a social marriage, and social marriage only works in jurisdictions where there's no common law marriage. So
Mm.
a lot of people think that common law marriage exists in California, which means if you live together for, let's say, 7 years or 10 years, you're automatically husband and wife. It's a myth, it's not true. You can
Uh,
live with someone for as many years as you like, and if you don't have some kind of contract in place or a legal license, you're not husband and wife. But Canada, if you live together for 2 years, you're husband and
oh,
wife. So
okay.
social marriage won't work in Canada. But in
Okay.
California, the downsides is one, you can't file taxes together because you're not legally married, so you can't have that tax savings. Two, you can't have automatic estate planning benefits. Usually, even if you don't have a will or a trust, your spouse will get everything if you pass
Mhm.
away. Now you have to make sure you have estate planning, wills, and trusts in place.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
also benefits. Most benefits, insurance, that's only for your legally married spouse. So if you're not
Mhm.
legally married, you can't be on health benefits, dental benefits,
Okay.
stuff like that. So there are some downsides, but there's a lot more upsides, I feel like.
Yeah. So not for everyone,
Not for everyone. It's
but
just another option.
it's an option. Yeah. So you realize you're not helping your business much by advocating.
I know. But my business is an entire conflict of interest in and of itself. Divorce attorneys, if you add fuel to the fire and you encourage your clients to fight, then you make more money. So most attorneys don't want their clients to settle, even though settling is in the best interest of the client. So
Yeah,
it's a total conflict of interest. I rather people get along and have peace of mind, and
yeah,
I'd rather do quantity over taking up all of someone's life savings. I know some
yeah,
predator attorneys out there will just suck up someone's life savings by adding fuel to the fire, but I'm not
yeah,
like that.
yeah. No, it sounds like it. All right, so you're doing that for, you said 10 years already or more than that?
Yeah, 10 years since Ying Law Offices was formed. So I've been an attorney since 2007.
Okay, but then you moved to Monterey Park like 15 years ago or so?
Yeah, right after I filed divorce. We were living in Pasadena. So I was in Irvine for my first job out of law school. I moved to Pasadena after I got married, had kids, and then moved to Monterey Park after I filed divorce.
Okay, so you kind of fall in love with the city and start getting involved in different commissions. Is that how it kind of started for you?
Yeah. I fell in love with the city, with the people, started joining commissions. I started with the Community Participation Commission, served on that for a few years, and then moved over to the Parks and Recreation Commission, did that for a few years, and then moved to the Design Review Board. And then finally, at the end of 15 years, I was chairing the Business Improvement District Advisory Commission. So
Uh,
four different commissions in the span of 15 years.
wow. How does one find that? Is it just listed on the government website looking for commissions, or do you have to be nominated?
So the commissions are all listed on the websites publicly. Most cities have them, and you get appointed by one of the council members.
Okay.
So most of the time, there's lots of vacancies, at least for a few commissions. So you just talk to your council member, say, "Hey, I'm interested in serving as a volunteer. Can you appoint me?" And you can send them your resume so that they can make sure you're qualified, and you get appointed.
And so no salary with a commissioner, yeah?
No salary; it's all volunteer work.
I'll volunteer. But that kind of it got you used to the politics of Monterey Park a little bit. You met a lot of people, and when did the idea of running for council hit your brain?
Yeah, so I would say maybe like 8 to 10 years ago, after meeting a lot of the active leaders in the community and also the council members, people started asking me to run because they were like, "You have a law background, a business background, you understand case law. You should step up into another role." But my kids are 15 and 16 now. They were like 6, 7 back then, much younger, so they needed my time and
Yeah,
me to chauffeur them around, take care of them. So I'm like,
yeah,
maybe not good timing as much as I wanted to serve the community. And also my law firm was pretty busy too. It was growing and I had a big team to manage at work. So, and then also around that time, our city got hit with an attorney letter telling us that we had to split up into districts.
hmm,
Back then, we were at large, which means out of the 5 council members, you can take them from anywhere in the city. It doesn't matter where they live. You can take them all from the southern corner or all from the western corner. It doesn't have to be spread out. But we have a much larger Latino population towards the southern part of Monterey Park near Montebello. So they were afraid that if we didn't split into districts, we might have 5 Asian council members, and then the
hmm,
Latino population wouldn't be properly represented.
hmm.
So during that time, we split up. We drew lines to split up our city into 5 districts. And it just so happened that the house I was living in wasn't in the district that was up for election. So
Uh,
I was like, sweet, I don't need to run. That was our perfect excuse. And then I moved in 2019, right before the pandemic, into another district. And I moved my mom from Walnut into my old house in Monterey Park. So my new address in Monterey Park again wasn't up for election in the following election, and people were like, move back to your old house, or just use your old address to run. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. If it's not my time, it's not my time. So they were even like, we'll help you move back to your old house.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
but a year and a half ago, my district was up for election, and the incumbent, prior councilwoman and Mayor Yvonne Yu, called me and says that she wasn't going to run for a second term and wanted to endorse me. And I
Mm,
called up the two candidates who had run against her 4 years ago, and both of them said that they weren't going to run; they would endorse me. So,
mm,
and my kids are now older and
yeah.
independent, and my law firm is independent. My husband quit his job 4 years ago, and now he's helping me tremendously with my company. So I had no excuse to say no.
All right, and so yeah, you become a council person, and I didn't know this about Monterey Park. I didn't know this about a lot of cities, but you guys just rotate the mayorship amongst the five of you.
Yeah, yeah, we do. And Alhambras and a lot of the cities are very similar. So there's no separate mayoral election. So
Mm-hmm.
when I
Mm-hmm.
came, it's based on the timing. So when I came in, I was immediately mayor pro tem, like vice
Uh-huh.
mayor, and then
Yeah.
served that for 9.5 months. And September of last year was my mayoral term. So
Uh-huh.
now I'm mayor until June of this year.
Is it 9.5? Is just it's 4 years divided by five? Is that how?
Exactly. Yeah,
I,
that way everyone gets a turn.
this thing is like a term of a baby around,
Yeah, yeah,
around being
it's
pregnant.
really fast.
So
It goes
everyone
by
gets a
before
turn.
it starts.
Okay, yeah. So since September, so you're about halfway in. Is that about
Yeah,
right?
more than halfway already. It's, March
Oh,
now, so just 3 more months.
yeah. And I think day one, didn't you get hit with kind of the data center thing? Was that kind of your thing that you just started the term with?
It is, and it's still ongoing. I know,
Okay.
this is showcasing in April, but right now it's March, and we have a council meeting in 2 days on the data
Okay.
center.
Okay. So anyone out there from Monterey Park, don't worry, Elizabeth is working on it. We're
That's right,
we're
yep,
trying
ready
to
to
trying
hear all the hundreds of public commenters
to
that are coming.
uh-huh. Yeah. So do you like it? Do you like politics? It's only been a little while, 4 or 5 months in, but so far so good?
It's actually very enjoyable, like, my personality, I like doing new things, learning new things, so I've learned a ton in the last year and a half. I would say when we first got hit with the data center issue and everyone came, they were very angry, they were hurling personal attacks at us, that was
Mm,
hard, 'cause
yeah.
we're all really trying to do our best to serve our
Yeah.
residents, so I think those personal attacks were really unnecessary, and
Yeah.
it was hurtful, but it's also helping me grow thicker skin.
Mhm.
And now the attacks don't hurt as much, so
Yeah.
I'm becoming more resilient.
Well, I guess it's the process too, you understand the passion, even though it doesn't need to be personal, but at least, you have a good attitude about it. So,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
and I hope also, like, people can understand they can communicate what they want to us without being, so
Mm,
mean about it.
yeah. Any aspirations for, like I think Judy Chu was in Monterey Park, right? Now she's a congressperson.
Yeah, we have a lot of big leaders from our city. Judy Chu and her husband, Mike Ng, both were mayors of
Yeah.
Monterey Park.
Yeah. Any thoughts of going California? I'd vote for you for governor for sure.
That's probably the question I get the most often, but, my answer is I still have, like, almost 3 years. I'm the newest council member. I just finished a
Uh-huh.
year and a couple months of my first term, so let's see what happens at the end of 4 years. That's
Yeah.
not till 2028. So
Yeah.
many things can change, and I don't wanna try to predict the future, so I'm
Yeah.
willing to continue learning and serving, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and you got kids to get through high school and college. You got a lot on your plate still.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, well, let us know though. I'm up here in San Francisco. If you need any Bay Area help with your campaign when you run for governor, let me know.
Awesome, awesome.
All right. Well, Mayor Elizabeth Yang, you survived our difficult questions. We have a section called a YOW, which stands for Your Asian Opinion. Is kind of like a lightning round. So whatever pops in mind. Let me start with a either or. Are you more of a sneakers person or a heels person?
Heels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
90%
I'm
of the
very
time.
feminine, I like dressing up.
Uh-huh,
Yeah,
uh-huh. Uh,
totally.
now I think Monterey Park's kinda in between, but, beach or mountain?
Probably beach.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
okay.
like the water, I like the sun, and, tanning.
Yeah, nothing
I'm not
wrong
one
with
of
it.
those, Asian women that puts white cream on,
You like
make
getting
yourself all pale. I like getting that golden brown and dark.
a little color, a little color. How about tea or coffee? Or boba?
Tea. I'm not a coffee drinker at all.
Okay.
People are surprised. They're like, "How do you get all your energy?" I'm like, "My 8 to 9 hours of sleep a night,
There you go,
that pays
yeah.
off, but the coffee gets me jittery."
Alright, then maybe the most controversial one, rice or noodles?
Neither. I don't do carbs.
Oh, no. Speaking of controversial, oh, no, that's gonna be the next comment at the council meeting.
Yeah, I'm, all about keto, low carb,
Uh,
low sugar.
okay, okay, that working for you, that's working for you. Do you have a favorite place in Monterey Park that you just maybe it's not a total secret, but some place that you can go to clear your head? It could be inside, could be outside. Where do you go in Monterey Park to clear your head?
I love walking around Barnes Park. Barnes Park is like
Okay.
our central park right next to our city hall. We have so
Uh,
many activity there, from tennis courts, pickleball courts. I know the Barnes Park pool has been a hot topic. We're trying to raise
uh,
money to rebuild the pool. But just walking around that park and just seeing the kids play, seeing the elderly walk around, it's very calming.
do you get stopped all the time though, as people as you're walking? Do they say, "Hey, Mayor, I got
No,
something, I got a bone to
no.
pick."
You know what's funny? Most people don't even know who the mayor or council members are in this city. So,
Yeah,
yeah, some people recognize me, but for the most part, nobody knows who I am.
you can put a hat on and sunglasses and no one will.
Exactly. I go to restaurants around here all the time, boba shops. I barely get recognized.
So no free boba when you walk in?
No, no.
Uh,
Yeah, I guess boba, I don't have to report on my Form 700, but anything higher than that, more expensive than that, I have to report it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, see? So come on, boba shops in Monterey Park, you can hook the mayor up with some boba, come on.
It's usually me, like, treating my constituents to boba.
Hey, that doesn't hurt, they'll remember that 4 years from now.
Right.
Alright, our signature question is we ask our guests who their infatuation is. Infatuation is anyone in the Asian community that you admire, could be living or deceased. So, Mayor Elizabeth Yang, who is your infatuation?
I was gonna say Lucy Liu because I just watched the movie Rosemead, and I
Uh-huh.
cried a river, and I'm really
Yeah.
trying to promote that movie in our community because 'cause I'm a big
Yeah.
mental health advocate. But
Yeah.
the other name I wanna say was Mike Ng, who I just
Mm.
mentioned as Judy Chu's husband.
Yeah.
He is not just a leader in our community, but he's so funny. He's a comedian, and I just took my very first stand-up comedy class, and
Really?
I performed at the Ice House in Pasadena last weekend,
Wow.
did my very first stand-up show, and it was so hard. It was harder than any kind of public speaking I've ever done, but now I
Yeah.
really appreciate the art and how
Uh-huh.
challenging it is, and it makes, miking even more of an inspiration for me. I
Ah.
need to learn how to include more humor in my typical speeches.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we just talked to Margaret Cho, who's done stand-up forever, and, for her to be doing it for so many years and just at the top of her game is it's a tough craft. It's really a tough craft.
Yeah, yeah, and Ali Wong, I know she's performing
Yeah.
soon, and, Jimmy O
Yeah.
Yang. I'm glad there's a
Uh-huh.
lot of Asian comedians up and
Definitely
rising.
more. But yeah, what happened to the introvert Elizabeth? She's gone now? You replaced her?
She's still internally inside, but I, force myself to step out of my comfort zone. So anytime there's a challenge, I'm like, "Okay, I'll take that stretch."
That's amazing. Now you've like I said, you've already lived a couple lives, and you're not even at middle age yet, and you've already had so many different lives. It's really impressive. Do you think there's gonna be something else, another big change in the future after politics? Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, comedian, right? I'll be
Okay,
the next Ali Wong.
yeah, I'd love to see that. That would be great. Nah, it's really cool. It's really cool to see that. Where can people follow you or learn more about you?
They can go to my Instagram, Liz Yang MPK. I know a lot of people are on LinkedIn nowadays, so they can search for me and add me on LinkedIn too.
Okay. All right. And everyone out there, you know how to follow us. You can follow us at Infatuasian uh, on Instagram or Facebook. You can send us an email at infatuasianpodcast@gmail.com. Mayor Elizabeth Yang, this has been such a joy. Thank you for sharing your life and, ups and downs. I'm sure someone out there is going to be inspired by you.
I hope so. It's so nice to be here. You're a great host.
Oh yeah, no, this has been fun. Like when your team contacted me, I was like, I don't know, I'm not very political, but then yeah, just reading your bio and reading a little bit more about you made me realize that I think you have a story that who knows, maybe someday Lucy Liu will be playing you in a movie or something.
That'll be the day.
Yeah. Actually, I heard that they filmed that Rosemead. A lot of it was in Monterey Park. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I promoted it. So the actual hotel that the incident happened is in Rosemead, but they filmed it at the hotel King's Lodge in Monterey Park on Garfield.
Oh wow, wow.
Yeah.
So Monterey Park on the map for several reasons. One, dim sum. Two, a young, exciting mayor, and three is in the movie Rosemead. So thank you so much for coming on with us.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, we'll post this in a couple weeks. I'll let you know. And keep in touch. So when you run for governor, make sure you let us know. Am I planning?
Right.
Am I working that too hard? Are you?
It was many years in the making, so I'm gonna take my sweet time with it.
All right, but never say never, right?
Never say never. That's right.
All right, thank you so much, and we'll talk soon.
Okay. Thank you. Nice to speak with you. Take
All
care.
right, bye.
Bye bye.
All right, so that was Elizabeth Yang. Pretty impressive resume, and she's not even at middle age yet. Who knows what's next for her? But she would definitely have my vote if she ran for governor. So everyone out there, hope you enjoyed that episode. I guess on behalf of Mayor Elizabeth Yang and myself, we hope that you're all happy, healthy, and safe. We'll talk to you soon, everyone. Bye.